Okay, Brian, the secret's out. Bellator is coming back to Dublin in February and you're on the card. How excited are you?
It's great. I finally get to come home. It's been a long time. It's been 4 years, pretty much 4 years and a month since I got to fight in the Prix Arena. I headlined that night against AJ McKee. And ever since I've been chomping at the bit to get back. But, a couple of injuries, fighting elsewhere, it hasn't happened, but I'm going to make up for it now soon. I cannot wait. Christmas has officially came early for me. So,
and obviously after a loss, you're always gunning to get back into it. But were you expecting to get back into it in Dublin?
Yeah, I was. To be honest, I'm very happy with the opportunity. I didn't fight to my potential, and that's nothing to do with any physical preparation. It was only the mental aspect of it, and I've done a lot of work on that since. So I'm just ready to go and to have my homecoming in Dublin. I'm very excited about.
Yeah, and I was at the Dublin show in November, and I seen you there. You were pacing up and down ringside. What was it like for you watching your teammates and just plenty of other Irish talent, just like that atmosphere that night? What did that feel like for you, kind of sitting there in the stands watching it?
I was unbelievably excited. I was very nervous for my teammates. These are some of the guys I've been training with for a decade now at this point. Peter, another. Then you had Danny Nealon and Kieran Clark, who I'm very fond of, those two guys, and a whole host of other lads that are out of the gym too. So just to see them and getting the showcase, I see the hard work they put in, week out, get to showcase it in front of the Irish crowd was special. But I was given the best seat of the night. I was even asked if I want to come on and do a bit of analyst work the next time, and I said no. I want to be in there. That's the best seat in the house, is in there, in the middle of it, and I cannot wait for February to come around.
Your opponent is TBC at the moment, but in terms of the bantamweight division, who have you got your eyes on this year? And obviously that Grand Prix has been announced. You're not part of that this time around. Was that disappointment?
No, I lost my last fight, so it was well that I was out of the top 8 for that. And I wasn't considered, but I will put my stamp on this time around for sure. The opponent I have is an excellent opponent. They asked me, who do you want? I gave them 2 names. I could have asked for an easy one. I could have got an easy payday, but I didn't. I asked for 2 very good guys. One of them didn't want any of it, and this man has stood up. So I'm very, very excited for it. And my last fight, I touched on, that wasn't me. That was just a shell of myself. I had some issues weeks out, and like I said, I'm working on it. I'm speaking to a professional about it, and you're going to see the best version of me as a result.
And those issues that you mentioned it wasn't physical or like fitness preparation. Are they more mental side of things?
Yeah, and it wasn't like performance anxiety or sport, anything like that. It was my mental health, and took me a long time, and it took me a lot of guts to finally make that call and make that move to go and see someone. But I'm very glad I did, and I'm just encouraging anyone that I speak to. It took a lot of time. Look, it took me 18 years to do it, and the only regret I have is not doing it much sooner. But I'm in a much better place, and surrounded by good people, so I'm very happy with that.
Excellent. And obviously the cards in February, that'll come along quite quickly after New Year. Will you get to enjoy any sort of Christmas here, or have you started camp already?
I'm always training, and that's like I said, I went back to work straight away. I love this sport, and the one thing in the last fight, I didn't go out to enjoy it, and because of everything that was going on, and I'm going to soak up every moment of training, every second that it takes me to walk out to that ring, and every second in that fight, I'm going to enjoy every part of this, but I will enjoy my Christmas with my family, but I'll be training every day too. That's I always train, you know what I mean? I'll take Christmas Day off, all right, but that'll be it.
Those issues that you just spoke about there, is part of that trying to get a balance, as you just mentioned there, to spend the time with your family as well as that training lifestyle. Is striking a balance important to you going forward?
No, I have a very good balance, and that's something I've had to work on very, very hard over these number of years. But without getting too much into it, it was something. There were things that were brought up from when I was young, and basically the floodgates opened, and I had to try and deal with it. But yeah, I don't want to get too much into it. I will someday, but all I will say is that the balance that I have is great, and I have had that now for a number of years, and I'm in a great place.
And moving on to the show in Dublin in February, the main event, McSassy versus Vanderford. How big is that? Like we've got two world title fights in a row in Dublin. It really is almost like it's now Dublin is the European fight capital for Bellator. Like these world title fights, two in a row are coming here.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, it's the capital in Europe. But I'm telling you, it's going to take over as their primary position to hold these title fights, to hold these big events. Where else do you see such a big digital blueprint? Where else do you see such, traction? It's the Bellator Dublin event. The walkouts alone from so many highlights of fights, it's unbelievable, and that's all down to the crowd. It's all down to the crowd, and it'll be such an honor to step out in front of that. Like I said, 4 years has been a long time. My profile has grown as a fighter. People know me a lot more as a fighter, and I'm going to get to showcase that in front of the best crowd in the world. And oh man, I'm so happy.
And then we know the only one of your teammates that we know is going to be fighting alongside you tonight is Peter. Obviously, he's coming off a loss like yourself, a big world title loss. I spoke to him earlier. He's like you're going to get back in. What are your thoughts on his defeat? And then he said his long-term view is to get back against Patricky, but his next fight against Kay Musa from Manchester. Just your initial thoughts on that?
I'm very excited for that fight. Obviously, I know Peter is a Kane from the circuit as well. He's a good guy, but two of them are excellent fighters. Again, Peter, I'm sure could have had an easier fight, but it's not like Peter to do so. He'll go after the bigger challenges. But look at, yeah, our backs are against the wall. We're coming off losses, But when have you seen either myself or Peter, not bounce back, whether from an adversity, whether that's a loss, whether that's an injury? We've always bounced back and bounced back hard. And I'm telling you, there's going to be two big wins in Ireland for myself and Peter, and I'm sure there's going to be many more when they get announced.
And then just finally, in that show in November, obviously James and Peter's fights didn't go the right way, but you look at people like Kieran Clark, Danny Nyland, those wins, particularly Kieran, like what a moment. And I was speaking to John earlier, like people in Irish MMA might have heard of Kieran, but after that night, he's just elevated because it's seen so much around the world, around Europe. Those shows in Dublin can do that, can't they?
Oh, big time. And that's what these guys deserve. I see Danny and Kieran, they're workhorses, absolute workhorses, and they deserve that. They deserve the big moments, they deserve the big wins. They've done it the right way, and I'm very proud of them as a kind of a more senior member of the team as such. I'm really proud of those two lads, and I think they'll go on to do huge things, and I can't wait to see their profile further expand. And I'm looking forward to seeing the step up in competition they'll get and how they'll handle it, and I'm sure they'll be victorious.
Perfect, Brian. Well, best of luck in the camp, and I'll speak to you closer to February.
Thanks so much.